We are live in 3, 2, 1.
The trust was lost. Students may not trust the institution.
After last year's tragedy, the University of Utah is taking extra safety measures on campus.
All these kids is thinking about what they're going through, and it's a tough situation, and making this.
A shelter for homeless youth in Provo is revamped. This incredible renovation was part of a local congregation service project.
A Halloween tribute to Disneyland's Haunted Mansion is in Utah. A man designs the iconic mansion with hundreds of electric candles. Welcome to Newsline. It's October 28th, 2019. I'm Joseph Carson.
And I'm Natalie Baugh.
If you haven't stepped outside yet today, you might want some extra layers.
Make that several layers. Today we're experiencing record-breaking weather. It hasn't been this cold in Utah since 1970. Berto Sanchez is here live outside to tell us more about this frigid weather. Berto?
That's right, it's sunny and bright outside. Mother Nature sure is playing a trick on us for the month of October. Today we hit a record low of 23 degrees for the month of October, and it'll get a little bit colder even tomorrow. We're gonna hit another low record. The last time it got cold this cold, it was 1970. A temperature of 23 degrees if I'm not mistaken, and also it got super cold on 1919. So I'll tell you more on that, on our record low temperatures, along with the winter storm that's heading our way with my full weather report.
Thanks, Berto.
More snow is on the way, and Provo Police Department is giving advice on how to stay safe on the road. Officials urge drivers to stop driving distracted, put their phones down, wear seatbelts, and plan your driving. A couple of common reasons of car accidents in the snow are driving too fast for the conditions, failing to clear all windows, and poor braking. Provo police say to watch out for traffic enforcement team along 500 West, University Avenue, and Cougar Boulevard this week.
A man is arrested for killing his mother and live streaming the murder on Facebook. Police say 24-year-old Jeffrey Antonio Langford Jr. murdered his own mother Saturday night at Northridge Apartments in North Salt Lake. Langford is charged for first-degree felony murder, second-degree felony obstruction of justice, and a misdemeanor of carrying a weapon under the influence of alcohol or drugs.
Following the murder of student-athlete Lauren McCluskey last year, the University of Utah is creating a new safety team to handle all threats. Newsline reporter Amy Hamilton is on the U of U campus to find out more about the safety team there.
I'm here at the University of Utah, where officials recently announced their plans to assemble a threat assessment team. Now what this means is a small group of decision makers will act and respond to a threat that comes in as soon as possible. The University of Utah is taking extra safety measures to respond to threats and safety concerns on campus.
Every level from the president on down is committed to this.
The threat assessment team is in its early stages, but it's an idea that's been in progress over the last year. Why that is? This October marks the 1-year anniversary of the murder of student-athlete Lauren McCluskey on campus. Many students and community members were disappointed in how the university police handled the situation.
I think the evidence that came out was fairly eye-opening, and it seems like there were definitely a lot of steps that could have been taken to avoid the incident.
Because of this tragedy, the university is doing everything they can to ensure safety.
After the murder of Lauren last year, there was an external review committee that President Watkins organized to look at campus and how we can make it safe.
President Watkins organized the Presidential Safety Task Force last year, but officials still felt it wasn't enough.
Moving more towards keeping behavioral intervention teams and adding these threat assessment teams.
The real question is, will a group specifically designed to responding to threats make the students feel safer?
At a university level, it's probably quite helpful. I mean, will it affect me personally in my individual life here at school? No. I feel safe on campus.
Others have lost their trust in the institution.
Trust was lost. So I think that's going to take some time to rebuild that trust, and it's going to take relationship building.
The U hopes that this team will rebuild the lost trust, but first, the team needs a leader as each situation will vary.
But that's, I think, the general idea is to have a single point of contact, someone who's ultimately responsible to oversee safety efforts on campus.
Currently, the U is in the process of hiring a chief safety officer. Once that position is filled, plans will take effect at the beginning of next year. Reporting for Newsline in Salt Lake City, I'm Amy Hamilton.
Thanks, Amy.
A man is on his way to the emergency room after being found in Rock Canyon. Discovered yesterday, surrounded by snow, the Provo Police and Fire Mountain Rescue teams found the man injured at the base of Red Slab in Rock Canyon. Unable to make it down himself, with the help of the rescue teams, he is now down from the mountain and on his way to the emergency room.
Missing Michigan couple reported overdue have been found and are doing okay. Last seen on October 22nd, Park Ranger Brian Curta found the couple this morning near the intersection of Temple Road and Goblin Valley. Known campers and hikers Brett and Judy were camping in a place with no cellular service. They are now back in communication with their loved ones.
Genealogy DNA testing is the latest trend that's helping many people discover their roots. It's also becoming a useful tool that's helping solve many cold cases. NewsLine reporter Berto Sanchez explains how this is done.
Personal DNA testing is becoming more popular than it ever has been. 23andMe, Ancestry DNA are some of the most popular DNA test kits available online. But how do these kits work, and how is a simple sample of saliva helping fight crime?
The genealogy is developing family trees. So if you've got a crime scene sample, you can take that crime scene sample, and then you develop a tree. And then from that tree, you try to reconstruct where that person might be, and from that you can gather names and locations. That evidence is submitted to the laboratory, and then we will identify the bodily fluids, then cut those samples and put them into a process where we extract the DNA, develop a DNA profile.
Thousands of DNA profiles are then submitted to a database managed by the FBI and other local state authorities. Once that DNA profile is in the database, it's only a matter of time that a suspected criminal could be caught.
Once you put those samples into the database, it's always constantly searching. So if we don't have a suspect or a person of interest to look at initially, then we'll put it into the CODIS database, and hopefully that will resolve the case.
Numbers of cold cases have been solved thanks to genealogy DNA testing due to its extreme accuracy.
The DNA is kind of the objective, unbiased fact finder. So investigators, prosecutors, the whole criminal justice system relies on the DNA test to get the right result.
Genealogy DNA testing has widened the possibilities of catching suspects of a crime, and it's helping solve cases faster than ever before. Reporting for NewsLine in Taylorsville, I'm Berto Sanchez.
A Provo shelter has been revamped for homeless youth. Kevin Hatch is live in Provo. Kevin, how long did the renovation project take?
It took several days and was completed by the end of last week. Vantage Point is a facility completely run by volunteers. It is a place where troubled youth ages 12 through 17 can find a safe place to stay.
The Vantage Point renovation project is to help the kids feel as safe as possible.
These kids deserve to come to a place, and when they're not in such a great situation, they need to come to a place where they feel like they're cared for.
This renovation is part of a ward service project. This ward has done many service projects throughout the years.
This is a service project that our ward's put together. It's been planned for a while. We've done service projects like this in the past, in former years, specifically to residents that were in need.
This shelter has gone through a complete makeover. While these kids have gone through a tough time, it's nice for them to be able to stay in a place that they can feel safe.
We're just like renovating a home so that the kids will feel better here when they come instead of feel like trapped.
Making the experience for the kids better has made the members of the ward feel better as well.
All these kids is thinking about what they're going through, and it's a tough situation, and making this place like look better and making them feel better, it makes me feel better too.
Vantage Point is part of Wasatch Mental Health, providing youth with not only shelter, but food, healthcare, and therapy 24/7.
Because Vantage Point is completely run by volunteers, the facility truly is a place that the community is committed to supporting.
Thanks, Kevin.
The newest segment of the Mountain View Corridor in Utah County is now open. To celebrate, runners and walkers took to the road to test it before it opens to the public. The road goes from 2100 North and Redwood Road in Lehigh to SR 73 in Saratoga Springs.
You don't have to go to California to see Disneyland's Haunted Mansion. A Utah College professor completed a massive project decorating the exterior of his house in a Halloween tribute to Disneyland's Haunted Mansion and The Nightmare Before Christmas. Professor Josh Pedersen studied more than 200 images of the attraction to model the design as close as possible to the original. The piece has 168 electric candles and 66 fake pumpkins.
A truck slammed into a gas station in this shocking surveillance video. We'll tell you why he crashed and the damage it caused.
One of the only places you could do this. You don't get bison, a lot of other places.
The annual roundup of bison on Antelope Island is a big hit with the community. We'll tell you about this event and why it's so popular.
It's an inspiring art, and it's not just the glass and the solder, but part of the art is the light.
Local stained glass artists hold classes to teach a unique art form. We'll tell you what the artists are doing for their community.
Attention travelers. Next Tuesday, a major hurricane will cause complete chaos throughout the city. Water, phone, and internet service will be in short supply. There will likely be panic citywide. Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
Disasters don't plan ahead. You can. Talk to your loved ones about how you're going to be ready in an emergency. Don't wait. Communicate.
I got it!
Hi.
Can you help me?
I got it.
Thank you.
No problem.
Just like the rules to surviving Zombieland, there are steps you can take to be prepared for an emergency.
It's the right thing to do.
Talk with your family to make a plan. Look for safe areas to meet up if separated. And stock up on supplies. It's never too early to get prepared, so start now.
Right now?
Right now. You can't predict emergencies, but you can be ready.
You're welcome, America.
Visit ready.gov today to learn more.
An ISIS leader dies over the weekend in a U.S.-led raid. Now we're finding out more about the mission. Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi detonated his suicide vest in a dead-end tunnel Saturday after being cornered by U.S. forces in a Syrian compound. Baghdadi was under surveillance for a few weeks prior to the mission. Some ISIS fighters were killed and others were captured. Democratic Congresswoman Katie Hill of California resigns from Congress amid a scandal. On Wednesday, the House Committee on Ethics announced it's opening an investigation into allegations she engaged in an improper relationship with the congressional staffer. That would be a possible violation of House rules. Hill served as the vice chairwoman of the powerful House Oversight Committee.
Wildfires burning out of control have forced all of California to be under a state of emergency. Two major wildfires fed by hurricane force winds are burning at opposite ends of the state. The biggest fire, the Kincaid Fire, is only 5% contained as it burns through Sonoma County. In the south, evacuation orders were lifted Sunday evening, but not before the fires destroyed and damaged dozens of homes. A man is behind bars and facing charges after plowing his car straight into a gas station convenience store, destroying everything in its path. Take a look at this surveillance video. Watch as two door truck rams into the front doors, two people standing just feet away from the crash. The driver is now facing multiple charges. Police say he told them he got new tires and wanted to speed around the pumps when he lost control and crashed.
President Trump attended Game 5 of the World Series last night. Cassidy McKinney tells us about the crowd's less than warm welcome.
Donald Trump struck out at Nationals Park last night after his appearance on the Jumbotron caused the crowd to erupt into a sea of boos. The fans' piercing boos reached up to 100 decibels, and the crowd chanted "Lock him up" in reference to the president's ongoing impeachment inquiry. Now, the Secret Service were fully prepared for this negative response, and the stadium security was at an all-time high. Take a look at this photo from Brian McNally. In the upper right corner, you can see snipers on the stadium roof prior to Trump's arrival. Members of the Secret Service were also checking to make sure any signs donning political statements were left at the gates of the park, but they failed to confiscate every single one. A banner with the words "Veterans for Impeachment" was unfurled behind home plate, causing the hashtag Veterans for Impeachment to trend. Trump's ill-fated visit to the World Series sparked a lot of conversation on social media. Users like Eli Lake think that the crowd's negative reaction shows that the Trump campaign will have an uphill fight if they want to be competitive in Washington, D.C. for the 2020 election. Others pointed out that following the boos and the jeers, the Nats gave up 2 runs to the Astros, ultimately losing Game 5. And people are calling this the Trump curse. Now, Donald Trump has yet to respond to last night's backlash, but I think it's safe to assume that Mr. President will be rooting for the Astros in Game 6.
Every year, a bison roundup is held at Antelope Island State Park. The purpose, to give the animals a medical checkup so the herd can stay healthy. NewsLine reporter Taylor Hansen went to Antelope Island this weekend to find out more of the importance of this event. Taylor?
That's why I'm here at Antelope Island for their annual bison roundup. As you can see behind me, horseback riders are guiding the bison farther north so that they can be put in corrals and taken care of.
The bison roundup is critical to ensuring the health of one of the nation's largest and oldest public bison herds.
That's right around 700. It can go 700, 750 depending on how many, calves are born in the spring.
Running at speeds up to 40 miles per hour, the population of bison are pushed from the southern part of the island, the fields surrounding Fielding Gar Ranch, to the corrals located at White Rock Bay. After being corralled, the bison will rest for 4 days and then receive medical examinations, including a series of vaccinations to help them fight off diseases such as brucellosis.
It's a disease that can spread through the bison herd quite quickly, and it can decimate the herd, right? A lot of the females, when they're pregnant, they usually will have stillborn calves.
Then, the bison will be sorted to keep them at a manageable number.
We'll narrow that down to about 500, right around that ballpark of animals that we'll have remaining after, the roundup.
During the roundup, the bison are safely guided by a group of 300 volunteer horseback riders. Whether you're new to the roundup like the Peters,
this is our first year, but we're super excited.
Or a third-timer like John McFarland, all riders can agree that
It's so fun. It's just super fun.
For Cayenne Betts, the bison roundup has become a beloved tradition.
It's a bucket list item that we've done for 10 years.
Returning riders and viewers will know her for her famous hat.
Wear it the whole ride. So now I wear it every year, and there are people who only see me here and they know me by the hat.
Not only is this event beneficial to the animals and the island, but it has become extremely popular among the public and is highly anticipated each year.
Where else can you get an experience like this to actually be a part of a roundup?
Following this event on October 31st, the bison will begin to receive their health screenings and vaccinations. Then they will either be sent back here to Antelope Island or sold or auctioned off. Reporting for NewsLine from Antelope Island, I'm Taylor Hansen.
Thrifting seems to be all the rage these days, and 2 Provo locals have turned the thrifting hobby into a business. As Gabby Stockard tells us, Thrift Hood is a unique vintage shop that is focused on providing one-of-a-kind clothing while creating a welcoming environment.
Sissy and Albie started off as simply friends, but after Albie asked Sissy for a wardrobe revamp, they learned they could turn their love for fashion into a business.
So we started by thrifting a little bit, sold on his personal Instagram, and everything sold. So we were like, let's just kind of run with this idea.
Simply selling on Instagram turned into opening a thrift shop in their basement. It was the beginning of the very successful Thrift Hood.
It's been crazy. A year ago, I would not expect to own a vintage resale shop in Provo.
Thrift Hood quickly gained loyal shoppers because of their authentic personality.
They were genuine and how much they really cared about what they do.
Less than 10 months after opening, Sissy and Albie decided to relocate to a garage in downtown Provo and grew their inventory.
We thrift literally absolutely everywhere. A majority of everything within this store is handpicked by us.
But besides their unique vintage items, what makes Thrift Hood different is the culture Sissy and Albie have made.
It's not about the clothes or the money, it's about the culture.
We want every single person to walk in here and have an experience and leave feeling better about themselves.
Seeing customers come in here and just their eyes light up and they're smiling, they say this is so cool. They walk out of here happier than they came in here.
And ultimately, Thrift Hood's goal is to have fun.
Come hang out with us, come sit down, play video games, let's watch a movie, just hang out.
To revamp your wardrobe and join the thrifting fun, visit Thrift Hood on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 5 to 10 p.m.
Local Utah artists are sharing their love for stained glass.
NewsLine reporter Mandy Welker went to the Wild Horse Timber Studio in Springville to see how stained glass art is made.
We love stained glass. We love the Just the idea of standing in a room where the light is coming through and the colors just make rainbows on the floor.
Local Utah artists Jean and David Gomes have a passion for stained glass art. David Gomes found his love for stained glass back in 1983. Today, David and his wife Jean have their own stained glass business and make glass art for local churches, schools, and homes. Jean Gomes' mural is the finalist for a bid through the Museum of Art in Springville.
And the Smith's Marketplace behind me is home to the big, beautiful mural done by one of the local stained glass artists.
Just different buildings that that I thought were beautiful, and make them as if they were all in one street.
The mural took 3 months to complete. Friends and family helped the Gomes to glue down each piece of glass. It's now in display at the Springville Smith Marketplace. Now the Gomes teach others the art of stained glass. In just 2 hours, beginners learn how to create their own Moravian star. The Gomes also offer a 6-week class at their studio to help create a 12x12 stained glass art.
It's an inspiring art, and it's not just the glass and the solder, but part of the art is the light.
For future stained glass art classes, check out their website at gsg-art.com.
Check out this image behind me. NASA is getting into the Halloween spirit. The space agency shared a Facebook photo of the sun looking like a flaming jack-o'-lantern. It captured the spooky image on October 8, 2014. This happened when active regions of the sun burn more brightly than others. So, how about let's take a look at our radar today. Current temperature is 34 degrees, but if you think it's cold, well, unfortunately, I have bad news for you. We have a really Arctic cold front heading our way as we speak. It'll be here by tomorrow, and we're going to hit another low record on tomorrow, 13 degrees. That's very cold. Not a whole lot of moisture like in this area right now for the winter storm to work with. So we are going to see some flurries tomorrow. Not a whole lot of snow, but the mountains are expected about a foot of snow, and it's just going to get cold. Just make sure to bundle up. Our highs and lows for the day. Logan 36 and 18, Salt Lake 40, 27, Vernal 33, 16, Richfield 42 and 23, and St. George 55, 34. Even warm St. George won't be able to escape this cold front. Our 5-day forecast for southern Utah: sunshine and clear skies. Mother Nature is playing a trick here, though. Even though it's going to be sunny, it's going to be a little cold. It's going to be cold on St. George. Our lows right now, tomorrow 27 degrees. Our 5-day forecast for northern Utah, we're expecting some snow on Tuesday, 12 degrees. Then just sunshine and clear skies for the rest of the week. Again, Mother Nature's playing a trick on us. It's going to be sunny, but it's going to be super cold. So make sure just to bundle up and just try to enjoy staying inside.
And coming up after the break, the BYU women's soccer team keeps the unbeaten streak alive. That is next in sports. Stay with us.
Better than anyone, the best place to explore is the forest.
She knows this monkey? Of course, she knows this monkey.
Experience nature.
Let's go.
Connect with family.
I love you guys.
And find your own adventure in a forest or park near you.
Let's do this. Come on, Boots.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest or park near you.
Undefeated and rolling is the BYU women's soccer team. Their latest victory was on Saturday evening in Provo, a 3-1 win over the University of San Diego. That win would supply BYU with their 15th of the season, and this squad looks like they have a few more to come. The BYU women's tennis team also had themselves a weekend. Freshman Helen Jiao advanced to the ITA Regional Championship with her default win on Saturday. Up next for the Cougars tennis squad, the Cal State Northridge Invitational hosted in SoCal on November 8th. And the Jazz bounced back from their Friday loss and perform on Saturday night, scoring 26 points with 5 3-pointers in just his second appearance in a Jazz uniform. It's safe to say that Bojan Bogdanovic is back from injury. But not just him. Newcomer Mike Conley also contributed to the Jazz 32-point win. The J-Notes get set to face the Phoenix Suns tonight in Arizona. For just the third time in Major League Baseball, every one of the first 5 games of the World Series are won by the visiting team.
That is crunched into left. Goodbye.
After the Nats took a commanding 2-0 series lead in Houston, they now find themselves 1 game away from their first championship slipping out of their hands. For Game 6, they return to Texas on Tuesday night in what could be the final game of the year. And Tiger Woods made history again over the weekend by tying the incredible record of 82 PGA Tour wins. Woods now shares the top of the all-time list with the late Sam Snead. In Japan, the 43-year-old won by 3 strokes and now seeks to become the unmatched #1 all-time when he faces the field at the Hero World Challenge on December 4th in the Bahamas. And that's all I gotta say. The Bahamas. I mean, the guy's got the life. Go play golf in the Bahamas.
Oh my gosh, I'd rather be in the Bahamas right now.
That's where I'd want to end up.
So uncomfortable.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for joining us today for Newsline.
For more information on our stories or to share them with your friends, check out our website at universe.byu.edu/newsline.
Have a great day.